How does it feel? How does it feel? How does it feel? Does it feel? How does it feel? How does it feel? Does it feel? Hold it inside. Koshila, Kushina, Koshila, Kushina, Konaku, Konaku, Toya, Toya, Polisa, Kashila, Koli, Koli, Kana, Kashi Kulu, Kashi Kulu. How does it feel? 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 How does it feel when you actually perceive? No. Bio? No. Gem? Element? How does it feel when you... What? Meditation, yoga, spirit energy. How does it feel when you feel the way it does not work? I don't know. It's just in a matter of time. The posture of the element can also be situated into a non-kulu or something in relation to the development of the technology. Because in return, once you even out the data core of 3328 and 3325, you can also position yourself into the tractor of 2256 and 2254, which is the fifth revision of the third Asasi in relation to the developer. Any developer that can also gram into the element of the dir, yes, directory or dir in relation to CC plus 2 and CC plus 5 for CCTV, no, CC36 and CC48. The problem solver need to situate into a certain amount of prulu or prelude, no, once you order the metal. Because once you order the metal in relation to your something, well, mathematically, the understanding of the pruli is the transition of a dir, and each dir is a provision of a telegram once you even out the data core, because each data core, once you sequel the ukulu or 2238 and 2248295631.328 and .254 is a conversion of RDN3628 and RDN2543 to monogram the graphic vector. Monogram the graphic vector. Interesting. Monogramming the vector. Monogramming the... What did I say? Monogramming the vector. No, it's not ready yet. Once you can monogram the vector graphics or whatever it is, you have to somehow sequel into its arrow. No, I just woke up. What's this? In time, once we network into the area of the 15th, 24, and 36 revision mirror of indexing into the microfiber and optic fiber, no, microfiber or something in relation to the CMOS, we need to know how to pulse the cell battery in relation to travel over to a certain amount of gravity. Once we know the gravity, we need to know the X mode 3226 and X mode 3325. In that way, the next position of the XD125 and 3264 is a evening order of the next digital world. The digital world is one of the beautiful world to revision the support of the vision card. That's for the alien language. In that way, the ancient world has been started in relation to this planet. But in time, once the gravity has been teleported, no. I don't know much about the gravity yet, but it will take me years to develop the gravity to help NASA for the space station and the aircraft to travel past this planet. When we travel past this planet, the journey of the western star is the equal of solver, and also to divide into the tractor of 1132648249, and also sequel the Siki. No, not Siki. Seek. No. In that way, once we program a certain amount of changing a plan, and also to predict the service of a tractor, we need to cat service the dilation. In that way, we are ordering the system of port 3326 and port 22562168 and 2154. In that way, the telegram, we can also position ourselves into the wisdom of the truth, and once we do that, we are ordering the system of 2248 and 2241 into the autocul. Yes. Guan Chi Yin Pusa is the autocul. Yes, for the fortune stick, or you know, you can go to temple and just shake these things. And also Microsoft MS is an autocul. Yes, it's a program called autocul. But anyway, in any kind of way, in any kind of certain amount of data core, the understanding of the data core is a police guard to share into the network of one. If there is a revision to support the coordinate, we need to fade in and fade out into the Jewish material common. But once we do that, we have to correct the coordinate in relation to the synthesis of the star, and also to function into the orchestra. Once we function into the orchestra, the understanding of 2238 and 2241 is a subdivider into the what's that? So once we do that, we can also align ourselves into the data core of 1-on-1, and also to summation into 2284 and 2281, which is the support coordinate in relation to the ratio of its frequency, ratio of its array, to JSON the application fee, and also to share into the unity of the syntax. Once we share into the unity of the syntax, we can telegram the microfiber chip into 3.628 and 3.628 microchip fiber last, and also to summation into the monogram. Gotcha. In that way, once we even out the ordering of the system, the program of the digital world, we can also summation into the expertise to realize. Paul, look around. What is it? Creativity, design. Look, this is the light bulb. Clothes, fish tank. Once we can order the kukulu or kikili or anything in that way, we got to position ourselves into the transmode system of gram 328 and gram 2436245 and fading into 2248 and 2259 into the binary of the 4x. Yes, once we do that into the binary of the 4x, we can also market the stock exchange. Once we market the stock exchange, we need to know how to actually peripheral the element of the door, and each door for its security. The fade of 22368 and 2248216524, it's a situation of a non-solution of the transmode system to gram in and gram out into the position of 88.6 and 88.2 megapixel in relation to DOF, and also to code DOF in relation to the Ruben. No, sorry, not Ruben. Ruben is an old friend of mine. Ruby. In that way, Ruben, the understanding of the MS effect is to understand the flash gram 284 and flash gram 28264521 for the megahertz in relation to attitude of 2248 and non-attribute of 2246 and CSS revision support 2.689 and 2.684 into the position of 22.3 and 22.43628 in revision to 2248 DOF into 2241 2262 bread maker into a keeper, and also to understand the burnt material of Jewish. Once you have the burnt material of Jewish, you need to flame into the gas of the engine 2283, and the cylinder is the fifth revision to support the second cylinder inside itself. Oosh. Jeez. Well, mechanically, the Ferrari makers and the Lamborghini makers know what the cylinder is in relation to your car. If you can have another cylinder inside it, you will win. Clap your hand. That means the microchip fiberglass. Yes, the microchip fiberglass, because it's glass and it's in the cylinder, will it reflect the metal? Commonly, it probably will. But how will the oil go into the glass? What kind of glass? Microchip fiber or fiber? No, we're not there yet. But in time, the returning of the telecore is a DIR 2238 and DIR 2862 and DIR 28.62982 to DOF into DAN. Once we understood the DOF, we can also transit ourselves into the corex of 2284 and 2285, which is a position of DIR 2226 and 2241 re-ascendant table wave into 2282 and 2284 to peripherum the 2285 and 2241 in relation to Appz. And each Appz is a grid system of 2284 and 2285 to understand the anaconda for events in relation to your stock exchange, and also to reserve the needed in relation to the bank copy. Once you have the bank copy, you will share into the next array of the juvenile, sergeant. Once you share the bank copy into the sergeant, which one? Police or army? I don't know the rating of the police. Gabby, a Lazon officer. So all I'm gonna say is police army. So that means the police people are police people and army people are army people. Police army there. So in that way, once we have the network of area 2285 and 2285-36284 is a put even into the ordering system of 2284 and 2281 in relation to your development of technology and data core into message 2285 and message to 2862841 in relation to your developer of technology and data core, the next Appz. No, the next something. Collecting things and modifying the guests is to know how we actually do the parts. Once we do the parts, we will actually unsell any kind of parts in relation to your manufacturing. And once we once we know the third economy in relation to academics results, and also to understand the Appz. The Appz, it's easy, apply. Appz. Yeah, kind of. But in time, once we share the next Kulu, or the next way in or way out into the core, what's this? Of the element of a time, we can also summation into the next bit code. No, the next something. Thinking pattern scheme. Scheme. Thinking pattern is finish. Scheme. No, what is a scheme? So, syntax. Working together as a compile or kuhu is a akalu. What's that? Appz, mod rewrite rules, clue 3282684, message 28212856 and 2854. Comply, ascendant, Afari dot 2485, grid 3268249, grid 28362824, grid 22225865, and grid 22225865 3621 dot afx328 dot afxlg91 gravity. The compliance of the network is to order the function of the expertise and to know the 3328 and 224823658341, to revision the RDN S328 and revision the RDN SD26254625, and also to position the next way to sort out the problem solver and to compound the 2284 and 22562841 into the colorful world of the composition. And each composition is the RDN SD25 and the RDN SD256811 flex 224862128 flex 9982 99832641 0011 x2 and 0011 x321 x2 and 001 x211 x211 binary 11621862 Concord 11286128 6824 6825 Concord 2842 6834 2841 6824 5641 2863 2862 2841 Concord 3826 4821 2862 2841 Diku 1821 Diku 1836 Diku 18216842 Diku 18216842 Aplex 121828621824 dot Sergeant. Surveillance camera. Surveillance camera. Well, commonly we have the surveillance camera in casino, pokies and stuff like that. But we already got the thing from by Mazda. So doing the security camera will help you to know how to operate into the path And also once NASA has that one, it cannot orbit, but when the satellite has the camera, it will track where the sun is. No. The rays, the element. No, I'm not there yet, NASA, for the security camera. But in time, once we share the ordering system of Kukuli and Kukulu is a composition of a transistor, and to select the data core of 3325 and 2246 in relation to your development of technology, and also to separate into a DIR. In that way, once we comply with the maturity to understand the area of 56.8 and 56.5, we can also order the function of 22832641 in relation to DIR 2684 and DIR 21562842 in relation to the conquer of the world. To composite itself, the data core will also be complying into a rotation of gram 248 and gram 254x2143. What's this? And 2x421841. What's this? And I'm in the wrong angle, but 2248 and 2245 in relation to technology and sharing the network of the third Asasi in revision to the fifth moon by the array, and to timeshare yourself into the juvenile for the security camera, and to understand the apron. And once you understood the apron, the data core will also comply with reference number 2241, reference number 22462121, and reference number 224621 DORC 2843 and DORC 5628, cell 3621 and cell 8435 6842 2841, Appz 1821 6842, Rocho 2843 2845, and Rocho 2846 and 1824 in relation to your directory of the compliance material of dove. Dove. A simple thing is a dolphin. A dove. Well, the correspondence of the correspondence of a listening program is to tally more the gram of 2246 and 2241 once we have the correct alignment of digital world of core 328 and core 2648 in relation to our planet Earth. Each core is to understand the Afghanistan, and also to data core into the AQLU, into the provision of a support coordinator, and also to understand Mickey, Andrea Mickey. No, what's her name again? Oh, Andrea. No, Adrian. Andrea. Oh, I don't remember her name. Mickey. In that way, once the TAC understood the safety of the roadshow, yes, roadshow. There you go, TAC. Roadshow. 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 Yes, TAC. 2 words. What's that 2 words? Once we know the revision mirror, well, once we know the revision mirror of the camera and stuff like that, we will also understand the next provision to support the Linga in relation to develop the safety of big roads, and also to understand the counselor, each counselor in relation to Shepparton, and to understand Maltese, understand the compliance of old 2326 and old 2241 is histogram of the gamma. Alpha Romeo, no, not there yet. We got the gamma. Have we got alpha? Alpha? Not yet. Once we can comply with the maturity to understand the apex of the correspondence of the compliance, and also to compliance, and also to compliance. What's this? What's that? Psychic? Aura? Thinking plans? Bot machine? Bot machine! Oh shit. Bot machine! Copy. 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 In what? Or done. Namo A Di Đà Phật.